gosh. Oh, jeez. But where do I put my other foot? Here?
Wherever you can get it.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back to Christina's Garage Gearhead in Training for day 3 and the last day of PRI. I am really excited to get some interviews today and see who else we can meet on the last day. I'm here with Tom, Jasmin, and Don, 3 generations with Monkey Business Motorsports. This is a monster truck, you guys. I'm really cool. I'm really super excited about this. Would you guys mind explaining, one, how did you get into it, and a little bit about what you guys do?
Well, I got into it. Dad started running monster trucks back in the late 80s. He built his first truck. I was real little, I was a little bitty kid. Got into it. Dad ran clear up till about 2000. He retired, got out of it. We didn't ever get away from the business. We kind of did some stuff for some other promoters, built tracks. I did some announcing for a while. A few years ago, I just finally told him I was ready to get back into it. So about 9 years ago, we built a new truck. It was called Monkey Business. It debuted. It was kind of an old school race ride truck. It had some seats in the back. We gave rides to people, and then we also raced it as well. And then as from there, we just kept growing. We built this truck a couple years ago. This one's the one I drive now. Dad drove for a few years for me while I was announcing the shows. And then my daughter right here, Jasmin, she turned 16 and she wanted to get into it too. So we put her in the truck that Dad was driving. And like we said, we built this truck here for me. I've been running it now for 2 years. It's been going strong. We finished second in points last year. We hope to take over the win this year. The only truck that beat us was the legend himself, Bigfoot. And we were nipping on his heels all season long. So hopefully next season we can take the win.
That is so cool. And how do they tally points? Because someone was mentioning that it's from crowd. Like, how does it work? I've never been to a monster truck race.
The series that we run on actually tallies the points doing in the racing portion of the show. So there's 3 different portions of our shows. We got the wheelie contest starting out, then we go into racing, and then they do freestyle at the end, which should go off the freestyle and the wheelies. Most of the time, either me or Jasmin was right there winning those. But when it came down to racing, nobody can take that away from you. It's whoever's got the fastest truck that night, and it was always me and Bigfoot in the finals every night. And usually, we tried to come out on top, but Bigfoot beat us a few more times than what we did. But like I said, we were right there every show. It was us and Bigfoot. So that's a huge accomplishment for us. We're just a little bitty team out there trying to make it, and for us to be able right there with the legend, we did something.
That's amazing. And Don, you mentioned that you guys might be building a new one.
Yeah, we're looking in building another new truck for Jasmin here. We'd like to give her own truck, make it the way she likes it, be more or less a copy of the Monkey Business here for Thomas, which is Raybestos Powertrain this year. Raybestos coming, like you said, started sponsoring us. I've been working for the company for my 34th year now. Thomas's mother still works for the company the same amount of time. Thomas actually worked for the company for a while. They have come aboard, really helped us out a lot. We're proud of what we've got here. They love what we got. People have loved this truck all weekend long. They've been coming over here talking about it. Unfortunately, Thomas tried to keep it a secret on the day we brought it in here on Tuesday, but it leaked out real quick on Facebook. It was going viral. Everybody loves it. So he had to go ahead and post it. Hey, this is the truck we built. It's already been out there. People are seeing it. But when we drove it in here, you can't miss it. You got the noise, you got the smell of the methanol, you got the truck driving around. It's tall enough everybody can see it, and there wasn't a whole lot of things in here. But yeah, it's been a great time enjoying watching both these run. Jasmin has a little secret thing about her this year in Franklin, Indiana. She decided to stand her truck straight up on the butt, and it sat there. And the guys in the racing series we've been in kept teasing her. It's the world's longest wheelie, and she didn't move an inch. She got stuck up there, but I climbed up on top of it all and got up there, was going to hook a chain. I said, now don't touch nothing. She said, this feels weird.
That's hilarious.
So the guys tease her about that, but you know what? That's part of the learning. Now she knows if she gets up that way, she's going to slam it into reverse, tap the accelerator, and come back down and go on to hit it again. But she found out some of these cars, you got to watch them, you got to know what they are. You don't hit them full throttle. You will definitely do some damage or get yourself stuck on the tail, right, Jazz?
So do you have, first, which one of you is fastest? Don said that you've all raced each other before.
Well, of course, it's me.
But who's won the most out of 5 races between you two?
3, I think.
Yeah, that's what you keep saying. You've won 3, and he keeps telling you 2.
I let you win.
No, I beat you.
No.
This is always going to be a rival
I
between
had
the
a
two.
broken axle shaft. You know, the
Oh,
first race. Let's just put it where it was. We were on concrete. You know, concrete shows a little more difficult out there. It's a lot more slick for these trucks. You got these big tires, but they just don't get traction. So we were on concrete show. Had a little dirt mounds. Well, I broke a rear axle shaft in the wheelie contest. We don't have time to change it between rounds, and of course, first round racing, it's me and her. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna lay low a little bit, let her get to jumping. I'm just gonna hold it to the floor. Well, when I did, that truck just blew the tires off. I think I seen every four corner of the stadium that day. But
Wow.
of course, she beat me. But you know, we're not gonna let her have it that easy. I was broke, but you know, a win's a win, I guess.
That's what you say.
When I beat Bigfoot and I beat Gravedigger in the past, I didn't care how I did it, I won. That's all that mattered. I beat Gunslinger a couple years ago before Scott passed away, and I asked him at the end of the race, I said, what happened? He said, I don't know. He said, I think I fell asleep. But at the finish line, after I passed it, he passed me like a bullet. He was a great driver, a good friend of mine, and everybody loved the man. You know, Gunslinger monster truck will always go down in history as one of the fastest. So for me to actually ever be able to beat it, I didn't care how I did it, and I was proud of it.
That's amazing. So Jasmin, for people who are new or interested in getting into monster trucks, do you have any advice for them?
Don't give up, and you mainly have to surround yourself with people who have experience, who will help you. It's difficult balancing school and having time for it, but you just have to make time. You're going to have late nights, early mornings, and you just have to get used to it.
And would you suggest people like volunteering if they don't have family or friends in the industry and they want to get into this? Is there a certain place that they should go? Like what? Any suggestions?
You can find mainly people who drive. If you go up to them and ask them, most of them will help you if you want to get into it, and they'll probably help you change tires, whatever you want to learn. Most people will help you with it.
That's awesome. So where can people find you guys if they want to watch you guys race? Social media or websites? Where should they go?
Well, we have our Facebook page, Monkey Business Monster Truck. You can get on there and find that. That's where we usually post our upcoming schedule. We primarily run for the Full Throttle Monster Truck circuit, so you can check out Full Throttle Monster Trucks on Facebook, or even on, they have a website now opened up, so you can find out where we're at. We travel all over Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio. We've done some up in Michigan even too, so we keep branching out every year. So just check us out on Facebook, find out where we're at, come to the shows and cheer us on.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time. I'm excited to kind of see what you guys do next.
All right, thank you for having us.
All right. I didn't even know how you got in there. So.
Okay, so put your foot right here.
Okay. And then
just kind of start sticking your feet somewhere and grabbing them.
wiggling. Is the seats good to grab onto?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh jeez. But where do I put my other foot? Here?
Wherever you can get it.
Oh my gosh. How flexible? You have to be. Oh, did I?
No.
Okay. Ah. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. This is cool. Okay, let's see. I'll show you guys the view from in here. Turn the camera around. I know it's kind of wonky. This is cool. Leave me in here. I won't be able to get out. Wow, look at that, you guys. That's so cool. So they have the windows down there so you can actually see where you're going. That makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, I would definitely run someone over in this thing. It's a long way down. Let's see if I can see out the back. Wow. So I can say I've been in a monster truck. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is crazy. Now I gotta figure out how to get down. I'm here with Tony and Gian. I met them yesterday coming by the Wilwood booth, and I was like, who drives this really cool car? And Tony's like, I do, but you should come back at 10 o'clock because I'm gonna unveil it for my son. That was such a cool experience. Would you mind sharing your thoughts as that was kind of going through? I know you were nervous beforehand.
Yeah, I was really nervous. This is something called a Trans Am 2 car. It runs as a pro series all over the country. And I raced in this series for many, many years, and Gian is now 15, and he started in go-karts and got into sports cars last year, and now he was surprised with this new toy that's going in the garage.
Like how often do you think you're going to be driving it now?
As much as I can. I mean, it's just so awesome. I can't wait to get right into it.
Do any of your friends race, or are you the only one?
Back home, I'm the only one, but I have a few friends in racing, so
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome.
That's cool. What are your plans? Because I don't know, like, if there's age restrictions on you being able to actually like enter into races. Like, how does that all work?
Well, I think we're going to start out in just doing SCCA GT2 stuff, and
No restriction.
no restriction, yeah. So that should be good. And
That's
then
fun.
We'll progress into like some more like Pro Series, maybe Trans Am, like soon. So that should be good.
So now you gave him your car. Do you have a car?
No, I'm too old and slow now, so that's it. I had to vacate the seat, and so and actually this seat's probably a little too small for me, actually. So now he's going to take over
Well,
the driving
you're
duties.
just about the same height.
I
so
mean, with
that's funny. And it's this third generation. So your dad also raced this car?
not these cars, but he's raced. He's been in motorsports for 50 plus years. I've been in it for 30 plus years, and now we got a third generation, the best of the bunch.
That's awesome. Well, if there's somebody that's interested into getting into racing that it doesn't have family connections or friends, or young or old, like at any age range, like what advice would you give to them to get started?
I'd probably just tell them just go out and just go to a race. You know, try to just get the experience for yourself. I mean, maybe doing some like rental carts, maybe just like getting into it that way. I think that would be a good idea.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's, people, this car runs in something called the Sports Car Club of America. People
Okay.
can go to scca.com. There's lots of ways to get involved in motorsports. You can be a volunteer corner worker to help run the races. You can work in the pits. And then, of course, as Gian said, go jump in a go-kart, go run a go-kart and get the need for speed. And then who knows what happens from there.
I'm kind of a chicken, so I'm like, I'm going to do mine as a more of a street car, but people are like, well, you never know when you get in it, and it's manual, and I don't really know how to drive manual yet, so I'm going to need to like get a clunker so I don't kill my car. But thank you guys so much for taking the time, and congratulations. If someone wants to follow your journey, do you guys have social media? Like, how can someone watch you race?
I do have an Instagram. We'll be starting posting. It's called Buffomante Racing on Instagram. So I'm going to start posting on there.
Cool, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations, and I can't wait to see what you do.
Thanks a lot.
I'm here with Nick from JE Pistons. All of your coworkers are telling me that you're like the guy to talk to.
Questionable, very questionable.
I really, while being here at this event, I think it's really cool to talk about the industry and how like so many people have been in it for a long time, and like how you've gotten started, and encouraging other people that might be interested to get into it as well. So would you mind sharing a little bit about what you do now and a little bit about your history?
Yeah, so it's come a long way. So I started at JE Pistons as a salesman, and now I'm the director of products for all of our brands. So it's a very long road to get here. But yeah, it's been an interesting past. I don't know if I could say this, but I actually started street racing in the 90s, and that's like all import stuff. And I was a customer of JE first, and I had a bunch of failures, and they were able to help me out. And so that kind of evolved into, there was a position for Sport Compact, so I worked in sales and then kind of looked at the gaps, and I kind of, it's come a long way. And now I'm helping manage creating products for all these brands, and it's really exciting because it's just something that I didn't expect to do. I went to school for engineering, and that's kind of where my passion was. And then I ended up doing all this other stuff and doing business, and what you think you want to do at 16 and where you end up is typically not the same.
It evolves a little bit.
Yeah, it evolves a lot, and it's interesting, and it's exciting to create something new. Like we have Dart's got a 2JZ block, and that's probably one of the most exciting things here, because you can take a car that didn't have a 2J and now put it in there, and so
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
What is
so
that?
so it's the engine out of a Supra, like
Okay.
a turbo Supra. So
Okay.
like it's kind of the pinnacle of engine blocks for the import crowd.
Okay.
It's a very well-built, robust block that some people claim 1,000 horsepower in factory form, and it's just this really well-developed block. And so now we have an aftermarket version, and it's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, right, so JE Pistons, and then there was Wiseco. You guys are all kind of under the same roof, kind of, sorta. So
Yeah,
like,
so
what
we have a
makes it
lot
different?
of we have a lot of different piston companies. So we operate at a different locations. We have a different history. They have a very power sports focused business, and that's where it evolved from. Ours has been California street racing is where it came from. Is the hot rodders of basically the 40s and 50s, and actually even earlier than that. And so it used to be a cast piston that was a wood mold, and they
Wow.
were like, how do we add performance to a vehicle? And this is before modern machines existed. So in our facility in California, we have like a wood mold where they would pour it, and it would be the shape of a piston, and then you would turn it on a lathe, and it's just
So you
really
pour the
old school.
metal into
yeah,
the
exactly. It's like
wooden mold?
molten aluminum into a piece of wood, and then
Doesn't
it looks
that burn?
and it looks it does. yeah. And they coat it, and then it comes out close to the shape, and there's no options. It's whatever like Ford came with. That's like the only option, and if it blew up, it blew up. You got another car. And so there wasn't an aftermarket at all. So in 1947, this engineering guy decided, hey, let's just develop this. Let's figure it out. There's a need. There's people racing on the streets. There's like, it all grew from just a bunch of hobbyists. And then this engineer's like, oh, I want to solve a problem. So and that's where we are today.
And having so many different piston companies, each of them are a little bit different.
Yeah, they're very different. So the culture is so different. We're all a bunch of racers. Like virtually every single person that is in our facility races a different, like, you know, we have guys that race motorcycle, off-road, circle track, like drag racing, it's sport compact. So everyone has their niche. And so I think what's different is it's all evolved from kind of the street race mentality, because we're all customers first. So we're like, hey, this is what it needs because this is what I'm failing.
From first person perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And so Wiseco has this different history of coming from Ohio is different than the California street racing scene. They're really power sports motorcycle group. And so like there's a lot more terrain out there that fits kind of the woodsy stuff. And so all their products kind of built up from that. And then they started automotive, and it's a lot of drag racing, where ours is like really heavy off-road and circle track. So we just have our specialties kind of regionally.
So like my friends are Jeepers. Is that something that you said off-road, like?
So, you know what? Those are a unique group of people too. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't drive Jeeps, but
yeah.
It's just interesting that I've talked to some people, and I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I can tell some of my friends, because I have actually a couple.
Yeah.
I want to go rock crawling.
Yeah.
with them. There's just so much. I didn't know that there's autocross. I didn't know there was drag racing. I didn't know that,
it's
like
crazy.
I didn't know there's so many different types. So it's really cool to like learn, and I'm excited to learn even more about like what you guys do with each one, to maybe figure out maybe there's a certain one that would work for me, because I want to do more daily driving.
Yeah.
So like I'm in the learning stages. Like the next thing for me is my engine.
Okay.
But I need to do the research first. But yeah, so if someone is interested in getting into this industry, doesn't have any experience or any connections, where would you suggest that they get started?
Well, I think I would find your local group of like car enthusiasts, like even Cars and Coffee. Like there's such a group of people that it's so diverse. If you go to Cars and Coffee, you'll see road race guys, you'll see just like show car guys, you'll see engine guys. So I think that's a good place to start, to see where, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you really love or what sparks your interest until you go there and then you'll be drawn to something. So I would say just look what's available, and also if there's manufacturers of the product in your local area, in your state, like reach out to them. Just say, I want to learn, can I help? Like there's internships at places. Just try to get involved. It's from our perspective as a manufacturer, there's so much going on, so it's hard to keep focused. So like if you really want it, try to go there and view it and see what you like, and then reach out to manufacturers. And like once we know someone has interest, we'll put our effort into it. But we don't know what we don't know.
It's kind of like a mutual thing. Like they need to take the first step, and then
and then we go, oh wow, someone took the initiative. Like we'll help support that.
Cool. And if someone's interested in learning about JE Pistons or any of the other ones, like if they don't know, you know, what product maybe they might want versus where should they find you guys?
I would say go to our website. Like this is jepistons.com or wisecopistons.com or it's wiseco.com. Or that or YouTube. Honestly, there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff out there. There's there's good, there's bad, but you'll get all the data. So it's just really.
Do you guys have your own channels or just through other people?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
We do, and we have a lot of people that we support that will also, you can follow their builds, and there's more than enough information. It's just, I would caution you to just be an open mind about everything.
Yeah.
And just take it all in first.
Perfect. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really
no problem.
appreciate it. I'm with Matthew from Quarter Mile Classifieds.
Right.
And you were telling me a little bit about what you do.
Uh-huh.
Would you mind kind of explaining like what you do and how'd you get into it?
Oh, wow. Okay. So, well, first I'll tell you what Quarter Mile Classifieds is. Quarter Mile Classifieds is an online classified listing service, and obviously it's quarter mile, so it's more focused on automotive and drag racing type things. Quarter mile, that's where it comes from, and it's an attempt to make it easy for people to sell the stuff that they want or find stuff that they're looking for. So that's that. I've been a friend of Bobby Bennett, who is Competition Plus, for more than 20 years. And so Bobby and I have been working together. I am a marketing, advertising, public relations professional, and have been for more than 30 years. So that's really how Bobby and I connected, and then got involved in that. Since the time that Bobby and I got connected, I'm actually now a professor at Baylor, teaching advertising, public relations, and artificial intelligence.
That's really cool. And like my first thought, like I don't even think about it being like a totally separate like news online. Like I didn't realize that it's like a totally different animal. Somebody who's interested in it but doesn't have car background.
Uh-huh.
What would you suggest for people that are interested in that kind of thing?
Interested in what?
And publications that are more
Okay.
automotive based, if
Sure.
maybe they don't have automotive experience.
So if you like to write, if you like to take pictures, if you like to do videos, if you're a communicator in any form or fashion, there's definitely a place for you, because everyone always has a story, and it's all about telling stories and making relationships, right? So if people are interested in that, if they say, well, I don't like doing that, but maybe I want to work with a manufacturer or something like that. So there's all kinds of places to get involved. And the thrill of racing, whether it's drag racing or whether it's circle track racing or dirt racing or whatever, it's a thrilling thing to be involved in. And so, you don't just have to be a driver. You can do other things. You don't have to build a car. You don't have to get your fingernails dirty. You don't have to do any of that. And still, hey, you could even just be a fan and check it out that way. So.
I really didn't realize there were all those options. So I thought it was really cool to interview you, because I know that there's probably other people that are like, this is really interesting, but I don't think I can do it. I know a lot of people that know how to write or enjoy writing or poetry and photography and videography, but I feel like just in general, they don't think that automotive or anything within this industry is kind of on the plate as an option, because they're not in the industry already. So,
Right.
Is there a particular place that either they can find you or find more information about maybe jobs,
Sure.
or other than
Sure.
going to Quarter Mile?
You can go to Quarter Mile Classifieds. I would think go to Competition Plus, and there's a section about us where you can get the editor's contact info, and if they needed more information, just reach out to Bobby Bennett. Bobby is really the man who is the passion behind all of this, and you can connect with him directly. So
That's awesome.
I would definitely do that.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much. I
Yeah,
really
my
appreciate you
pleasure.
taking
Good
the
luck
time.
to you, and
Thanks.
good luck to you guys too. Have fun.
I'm here with Brooks from BMF Automation. We're trying to catch him in between. He's working right now. This is super cool. So my friend Rachel brought me by, and so what exactly is this?
So we built this as like a drag racing reaction simulator. So there's tons of like reaction time button deals out there, like Portatree makes all kinds of them. The problem is that it's inorganic, so there's nothing you're interacting with. You hold a button and you let go. And for me, as a drag racer, that sucks. So we built this as more of like a reaction tree on steroids. So the plan was, okay, well, we're just gonna have a cart you sit in, we're gonna have a trans brake and a bump button. And then I got together with a bunch of people and we decided, well, we want more, so we want like a wheelie. Okay, we can do that. Then we wanted all kinds of different modes to run it in. We wanted a gas pedal, so we added all kinds of things to make it a more actual drag race like reaction time chair. So the idea was to get people more interested in drag racing, but also we built it for the co-pilots of an event. So Rocky Mountain Race Week, they do a bunch of it's 2-people events. So you've got a driver and a co-pilot, and the co-pilots don't get a lot of recognition. So this was made for the co-pilots. They come in and they do a challenge against each other. So we've got 300 co-pilots we go through in a day. And then the top 10 times race each other for $100 a day, and then $1,500 at the end of the event.
That's awesome.
So that's why we made it, and then it's kind of spiraled from there.
What is this is not what you do originally. Like what is your profession like specifically?
So we are an electrical and automation contractor. So we basically do electrical work at factories. Have you ever seen the show How It's Made? I know that dates myself.
No, but that's kind of what I want to go towards actually, because I think that's really cool seeing like the back end stuff.
Yeah, so if you've ever seen the show How It's Made, there's all kinds of fillers. We're mainly in the food and beverage industry, so if you've ever had a Coca-Cola, you've likely drank a product that we had our hand in. So we do a lot of automation in all kinds of industries, and we are what makes the things work. So there's all kinds of mechanical companies that will build this machine, and then we have to make it do what it's doing. I've been working in automation and electrical for probably 20 years, and that is my background. So I'm a trained electrician, and I was like, well, I like automation. I want to make things work, so then I moved into that. So I own the company, and my guys helped me build this, so it's just kind of a team effort, but that's our background. And I've been drag racing since I was, has it been that long? It's been about 25 years now, so I've been drag racing for a long time, and I decided that let's put the two together.
Well, you saw a hole.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, these things need to be done, and I would want it for myself. It seems like that's what a lot of people in this industry do.
Yeah.
They're in the industry, they go, well, this is a need that needs to be filled. I need to be an ibuprofen for that pain. Like sit there and figure out how to, and that's usually how people become really successful, because a lot of people are probably thinking the same thing, like, oh, we need this, but no one wants to do it.
Yeah.
So what is the reasoning behind like the buttons? Like I've never done drag racing. I don't know. So looking at this, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
So I watch a lot of Street Outlaws. I'm kind of a fanboy. So we built this based off of their cars. They have like a turbo automatic car. So they've got what's called a trans brake and then a bump button. So what they'll do is they'll hold the trans brake, mash the gas, and then it'll bring the RPMs up. And then when they hit the bump button, it moves the car forward into the staging beams. So I was like, well, let's just make it based off of that. So what we did is we used a lot of buttons and things that an automation company would use just to kind of showcase, like the gas pedal. It's not a real gas pedal. That's a machine switch. So there's an operator that would step on that to start a machine.
Got it.
We're like, well, let's use that to kind of showcase some of the equipment that we would use.
Right.
Well, the buttons were that too. Last year, we were actually here at PRI, and I had the pleasure of having Jim Howell. I don't know if you know him, but he's a street outlaw.
Okay.
So Jim Howell came over here and used this along with John Odom, two big street outlaws, and I was like sweating. I was like, this is not happening. Like this, I built this modeled off of like their cars.
Wow.
So we were at SEMA last year, and then we came here, and we had like Antron Brown. He's a Top Fuel dragster. He came over and absolutely schooled me on this. Like, I like to drag race. I know why he's a professional now. Like, he was calling his shots. Like, okay, I'm gonna get a perfect score. All right, here's a 001. I'm like, this is insane. He did that like 6 times in a row. But anyway, so we used the buttons we wanted, and Jim Howe came here last year, and he's like, hey, I need to take you and sit you in my car. I'm like, for the love of God, please. Like, can we do this? So he took me over and sat me in his car. He's like, all right, so here's what I need you to change on your simulator. I was like, done.
That's amazing.
So these buttons are the same ones that he uses.
Wow.
So I know it's not like his buttons, but you know.
That is so cool. Well, and the fact that it's so accurate then,
Yeah.
so that a professional can come in here and get really accurate numbers
Yeah.
and how it feels and everything.
Yeah.
So that's going to be your market when
Yeah.
you start doing it is professionals. And you said you were going to do like different types because people are coming in going, well, I use this on my car.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's so many different people that are like, well, I foot brake it, or I hand brake it, or I clutch it. I'm like, okay, so we're going to expand that market, and we're going to make it do whatever they want. So
awesome.
basically the user is going to be able to say, well, I want to do the clutch. And then the guy next to him is like, well, I do a handbrake. I'm like, all right, done, both of them. The buttons are very specific, but what's crazy is we initially, like, we're an automation company, and sustainability is a huge part of what we do, right? So we do mechanical, automation, electrical, we do everything, and our goal is to make things last. So we've had these together for 3 years. We've had over 120,000 runs on them with, I mean, like maybe $40 worth of parts failure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
It's been crazy. We've had like one button we had to change out and one air solenoid, and I'm like, okay.
This is great.
Yeah.
Well, and you said you're in the middle of building a new one now?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is version 1, and I was like, well, there's so many things that we need to add to it now. So what I don't want to do is like spend all this time on this one, because then we'd have to take it out of service, right? So what we're doing is we're building another one that's got so many more options and things with it, and then this one's just going to be our Gen 1. Like, here's where we came from. This is what, the new one's actually going to move, so it's going to move 2 feet. It's going to be crazy.
Wow, you're going to need a bigger booth.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have your own designated.
And so that's one of the tough things too, is that so at PRI, SEMA, so eBay found us. We made a YouTube video about this, and they found us right before SEMA 2-3 years ago, however long it's been. And they're like, well, we want you in our booth. I'm like, okay. I love eBay, but the problem with that is that anybody that's a competitor that sells the same things they do, they can't be on here. So, like,
okay.
let's say anybody from Summit Racing, they sell the same things. So there's a conflict of interest, and they can't. So I really want to have our own booth here, but it's crazy expensive.
Yeah. Hey, eventually, it's. I think that's a really cool goal to have.
Yeah.
And it's super inspiring what you're doing. And if someone is trying to get into what you're doing and is interested in maybe not specifically this project, but like the type of work that you do, what kind of advice would you have for those people?
There was a guy that I'd been an electrician my whole life, and I was like, I really want to do automation. Like, that's what I wanted to do. So I just started applying to these jobs. I'm like, hey, I don't have the experience, but I really want to do it. I immersed myself in the training, so I went to school for it. I watched all the YouTube videos I could. Like, I learned so much about it before I even did it. I didn't have the hands-on, but I had knowledge. I'm like, okay, well, this is where I want to be, so I'm going to focus my energy on it. So that's what I did. I put everything I had into it. And, like, if you're going to put everything you have into something, 40 hours a week's not enough.
Yeah.
Like, you're working 40 hours a week. That's just sustaining that. Like, I put every hour of my day into it, and I still do. I sleep maybe 2 hours a night, 3 hours a night, if that. I soak myself in the work that I want to be involved in, because if you're going to learn it, if you want to get to the top of what you're doing, you can't do it with 40 hours a week. I don't care what it is. Like, Antron Brown, as good as he is on this, he didn't get there overnight. Like, he came here and 6 times in a row called his shot. Like, he Babe Ruthed it on, like, 6, and I'm pretty good at this. Like, I built this, right? Like, I had no chance.
Yeah.
He's a professional. He does that every day and he practices. That's what you have to do. You can't just get there on hopes and dreams. You can't wish that you're there without putting in the work.
And a lot of people are like, well, what if I stumble, whatever.
You're going to. Absolutely. You will fail, but it's not a failure if you learn from it. If you move forward after failing, it's not a failure. If you stop there and don't learn anything from it, that's when you fail.
Got it.
Failures are learning opportunities if you perceive them as such.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Absolutely.
If someone wants to follow you, what you're doing, watch this project, do you have socials? Like, where should people check you out?
Yeah, so BMF Automation, we got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Facebook's probably where a lot of it is. LinkedIn, there's a lot of business stuff there. Pretty much everywhere. Snapchat, whatever. BMF Automation everywhere.
Awesome. Well, perfect. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I can't wait to see the next one.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
I'm trying it. I've never done anything like this before.
So if you see this is what I was telling you about. So if somebody's actually in our system, they get all of these metrics that we track, and it tells you all kinds of statistics about which lane you're better in. So if somebody, like, let's say you're a professional drag racer and you find out I'm way better in the left lane, you can plan for that if you're going up to the race and you're in the right lane. Like, this gives you so many things that you can actually use in the real world.
That's crazy.
It is.
My brain's a little bit melted.
I'm sorry.
No. I am excited about it. Like, this is excited brain melting.
There's a lot to it. Okay, so like a Street Outlaws car, this is what we modeled it after. You've got a trans brake on the left and a bump button on the right. In an
Okay.
automatic car, a trans brake basically takes the fluid out of the converter so that it's not trying to go forward. Okay?
Okay.
So like, what kind of car do you drive? You drive just a normal everyday car that's an automatic?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so when you step on the gas, it goes, right?
Uh-huh.
So what a trans brake does is it actually prevents it from going when you step on the gas.
Okay.
So you can step on the gas and hold the trans brake and it stays still.
Okay.
And then when you let off the trans brake, it goes.
Okay.
It's crazy. These are things, I know it's a lot of drag racing stuff.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
So
it's
let's
a
go
lot.
through one and you'll kind of understand
Okay,
the
okay.
process. So if you step on the gas pedal,
Okay.
you'll hear it'll start it up. You'll get a sound of the car idling,
Okay.
right? So hold it down.
Okay.
Now what's cool about this is the trans brake will hold you at the starting line, but you see it gets up on what's called a two-step. So go ahead and hold that in.
Hold this in.
Yep,
Okay.
hold that in. So you're on what's called a two-step. So your RPMs are up really high.
Okay.
When you let off this button, it's what's going to make you go.
Okay.
So we're going to look at this tree here. It's a pro tree.
Okay.
So that means once we're both staged, it starts the timer, and then all the yellows come on, and then it goes green.
Okay.
So let's stage in. As you're holding this, hit this one 3 times. It'll bump you in. All right, one more. There you go.
Okay.
So now what we're going to do is wait for the yellow lights to come on, and once they come on, you're going to let off that right button as fast as you can.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Great, right?
So do I let go of that or
You
keep?
can keep your foot down the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Unlike a real car, that's just telling us you're in the seat.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay. So that's okay. Got it.
Yeah.
In real, that's not there typically, but this is just so that.
You will have it there, but the gas pedal will typically do more than just tell us you're in the seat. So it's
Okay.
the new one we're making has an actual gas pedal that will tell us what percentage of it you're pushing on
Wow.
the gas pedal. Yeah.
That's
so,
cool.
So it'll be crazy. So we'll actually be able to adjust whatever your reaction time is, or we're going to calculate an 8th mile time, a 60 foot, all of the actual times out.
Uh-huh.
We'll be able to calculate that based off of your throttle input.
Wow.
So we'll be able to tell you what you're doing.
Wow,
There'll be
that's
a lot more,
cool.
yeah. All right, so let's try it again. So
Okay.
hold the right button.
Hold the right
That's
button.
your trans brake.
Okay.
Left one 3 times to stage in. And then on yellow, let go. There you go.
So what does the blinking mean?
So the blinking means I won. I kicked your butt.
Okay. Okay.
So what you're going to see up top is your reaction time on the right and mine on the left.
Okay.
And your reaction time is going to tell you between when the lights came on and when you went, what
Okay.
that time is. So you want to try to get as close to 0 as possible.
Okay.
So
as
races
soon
are
as the
decided
yellow
on the starting
goes.
line. Yeah, exactly. Let's
Okay.
try one more time. Hold
Okay.
the right one.
Okay.
Left one 3 times. Wait for the yellows.
I still lost.
So that's
That's
what
really cool.
that's what this whole practice is about, right? It lets you hone in on your skills without having to be in your car and put miles on it. But also, it's way better than just a button.
Yeah.
Right? That was the whole premise.
Wow.
Let's try one more time.
Okay.
I need you to get something with a 0 in front of it.
Okay. Let's
So let me
see.
give you a tip. So
Okay.
you're holding it like this, and
Yeah.
all you're doing is coming off like that.
Yeah.
It's faster to come off with your whole arm.
Okay.
Because your arm.
Oh, that's why people were removing their hands.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so
Alright.
hold it like this with your thumb,
Okay.
and don't grip the steering wheel. Just kind
Okay.
of put, there you go, like that.
Okay.
All right, now bump in 3
All right.
times, and then as soon as it turns yellow, pull your hand back as fast as you can. See?
Was that better?
There you go, 055. Your last one was a 103. It was way better.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was
All right,
cool.
one more time.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm trying to hold the thing. That was longer.
That was a little bit slower. You
That
get the idea, though.
was
The
awesome.
whole idea is to help you work on your skills.
Sweet. Okay, so
Yeah, it's
foot down and hold. I got a 1.
Oh, you're doing good.
All right. Oh, I didn't get a 1 for that time.
No, 0 though. 93.
A little bit better.
You are getting better.
A little
You're still in
bit.
the zeros multiple times.
All right, all right. That was better.
worse. You're getting closer. I'm getting worse. You're getting better, man.
Oh, is there another one? I don't know how many there are.
Oh, that was slow. Yeah.
That one was a slow one. It was fun though.
Yeah.
Oh, that was cool. I didn't realize the screen did stuff too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'll give someone else a turn. Well, that wraps up day 3 and the final day of PRI 2023. I am overwhelmed with gratitude. This entire journey has been the most amazing experience, and I feel like each time it tops itself. I am grateful to all the people that are taking the time to teach me and go on video with me, and to all of you guys for following my journey and hopefully sharing it as well. I'm just very, very excited, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to take the next step and keep going so that I can build enough momentum to make a bigger influence, a positive influence, not only to bring new people into this industry, but also to hopefully help young people with education. One of the goals, I'm going to say it out to the universe, one of the goals that I want to do is gain so much momentum and influence that I can bring in income and create a scholarship in my dad's name for trade school. And you guys are already helping me on that journey. I am so grateful to all of you. So stay tuned for all the stuff that I have in the future. It is going to be so much fun. I will see you guys next week.